Maya woke to the sound of someone knocking softly on the bedroom door. For a few seconds, she did not move. The room was too beautiful to be real. Tall windows, expensive furniture, white sheets, and a city view she had only ever seen in magazines. Then she looked down. She was still wearing yesterday's clothes. Her heart began to race. On the table beside the bed sat a man's expensive gold watch. She had never seen it before. A woman's voice came from the other side of the door. "Miss, you need to leave before Mr. Cole wakes up." Maya sat up quickly. "Mr. Cole." The door opened slightly. A frightened-looking housekeeper stepped inside. "You don't know who you spent the night with." Before Maya could answer, the bedroom door opened again. A man walked out. Maya recognized him immediately. He was the same man she had found drunk the night before. But this was not the broken man she remembered. He wore a perfectly fitted black suit. His face was calm and cold, and two security men followed closely behind him. He stopped when he saw her. His eyes widened. "You." Maya's stomach dropped. She stood up slowly. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." He cut her off. "Why didn't you tell me who you were?" Maya stared at him. She had no idea what he meant. Last night, Maya was a broke college student who could barely afford her tuition. This morning, she was standing inside the private home of Adrian Cole, one of the most powerful CEOs in the city. And neither of them remembered everything that happened after midnight. But there was something neither of them knew yet. The night they were both trying to forget had already changed their lives forever. By the time Maya left Adrian Cole's house, the questions in her mind were louder than the city outside. Why did he ask who she was? Why did he look at her like he already knew something? And most of all, what had really happened after midnight? But before that morning, Maya's biggest problem had been much simpler. Money. She was a college student who had learned how to stretch every dollar until it almost disappeared. Every morning she attended classes. In the afternoons, she worked at a small cafe near campus. At night, she studied until her eyes could barely stay open. One evening, her coworker, Tasha, watched Maya count the few bills in her wallet. "You're doing that again," Tasha said. Maya looked up. "Doing what?" "Counting money that isn't enough." Maya smiled weakly. "It'll be enough." Tasha shook her head. "Maya, you can barely afford lunch." "I'll figure it out." "You always say that." "Because I always do." But this time Maya wasn't sure. She wasn't working just for herself. Someone important to her depended on her too. She had promised that she would finish school no matter how hard things became. So when her phone buzzed during her break, she expected a message from her professor. Instead, she saw an email from the university. Final notice, tuition payment required by Friday. Maya's smile disappeared. She opened her banking app. $412.67. She needed thousands. Her hands went cold. That evening, she approached her manager. "Mr. Harris, could I get some extra hours this week?" He barely looked up from his computer. "You're already working your limit." "I can work mornings too." "Maya, I said no. Please, I really need the hours." He sighed. "That's not my problem. I need employees who can keep up with school, not someone asking for special treatment." Maya lowered her eyes. "I understand." She walked away quietly. Tasha followed her outside. "You could ask your uncle for help." Maya shook her head. "No." "Why?" "Because if I borrow it, I'll owe someone." "And?" Maya looked toward the campus buildings. "I want to finish school knowing I did it myself." Her phone buzzed again. Another reminder. Friday. Maya took a slow breath. She had 3 days to find money she didn't have. What she didn't know was that before those 3 days were over, the man she thought she would never see again would walk straight into her life. 3 days. That was all Maya had to find the money for school. She picked up another shift that night, staying until the cafe closed. By the time she left, her feet hurt, her head was heavy, and she had no idea where the rest of the money would come from. As she walked past a hotel near campus, she heard a man's voice. "Sir, please, you can't drive like this." Maya looked across the street. A tall man was standing beside a black luxury car. His shirt was partly untucked, his tie was loose, and he was clearly drunk. A driver held the car door open. "I'm taking you home," the driver said. I said no. "Sir, I can walk." The man took 2 steps and nearly fell. Maya stopped. She should have kept walking. She had enough problems of her own. But something about the man's face made her pause. He didn't look like someone who was simply drunk. He looked hurt. The driver tried again. "Sir, please get in." The man pushed his hand away. "Everyone keeps telling me what to do." Maya walked closer. "Maybe because you're not doing a very good job of taking care of yourself." Both men looked at her. The drunk man frowned. "Who are you?" "Nobody." "Then mind your business." Maya pointed at the pavement. "You almost fell." "I didn't." "You did." "I was testing the ground." Maya stared at him. The ground passed. For the first time he smiled. It was small but real. The driver looked relieved. "Miss, could you please help me get him inside?" The man immediately shook his head. "No." Maya folded her arms. "Fine." She turned to leave. After 2 steps, she heard him call out, "Wait." She turned. He looked at her carefully. "You want money?" Maya's face hardened. "No. Everybody wants something." She shook her head. "I'm not trying to get anything from you." He laughed quietly. "That's what people always say." Maya stepped closer. "Then tonight, you'll have to survive the disappointment." The driver tried not to smile. The man stared at her for a moment. Then he said softly, "You really don't know who I am, do you?" "No." "Good." Maya frowned. "Why is that good?" He looked away. "Because tonight, I don't want to be that person." Something in his voice changed. The anger was gone. For one brief moment, Maya saw the sadness underneath it. She sighed. "Come on." "Where?" "Somewhere you won't fall over." He smiled again. "You always order strangers around." "Only drunk ones." He laughed. And without either of them knowing it, the broke student who was desperate to save her future had just offered help to the one man who could completely change it. Maya helped him into the quiet hotel lobby and pointed toward a chair. "Sit." He looked at her. "You really like giving orders. You really like ignoring good advice." He smiled and sat down. For a while, neither of them spoke. The driver stood nearby, waiting. The man finally looked at him. "Go home." "Sir, I can't leave you here alone." "I'll be fine." The driver looked at Maya. She gave him a small nod. "I'll stay until he feels better." The driver hesitated, then left. Maya turned to the man. "So what's your name?" He looked at her for a moment. "Adrian." "Maya." "I know." She frowned. "I didn't tell you." "You just did." "Oh." He laughed. She shook her head. "You really are drunk." "Probably." They moved to a small private lounge inside the hotel. Maya ordered water for him. He stared at the glass. "You're not afraid of me." "Should I be? You don't know anything about me." "Exactly." That answer made him quiet. For the first time that night, Maya noticed how tired he looked. "What happened?" she asked. He looked down. "Someone I trusted disappointed me." Maya didn't push. "I'm sorry." He gave a bitter smile. "People say that when they don't know what else to say." "Then I won't say anything." She leaned back. "I can just sit here." He looked at her. "You're strange." "So I've been told." Hours passed. They talked about small things at first. School, work, music, dreams. Maya never asked how much money he had. Adrian never asked how little she had. Then, sometime after midnight, he looked at her. "If you could have anything tomorrow, what would it be?" Maya smiled sadly. "Enough money to finish school." He nodded. "Money? No." She looked at him. "Enough peace to finish what I started." Adrian stared at her. She continued quietly. "Money would help. Of course it would. But I don't want someone to save me. I just want one chance to finish something I've worked so hard for." Something changed in his face. "You really believe you can do everything alone?" "No." She smiled. "I just don't want to lose myself trying to survive." Neither of them spoke for a moment. The night grew quieter. The distance between them slowly disappeared as they shared things they had never told strangers before. And somewhere between laughter, honesty, and a moment neither of them planned, the line between two strangers disappeared. What happened next was private. But by morning, everything had changed. Maya opened her eyes and froze. Adrian was asleep beside her. She covered her face with both hands. "Oh no." She quickly got dressed and looked around for her bag. She had to leave before he woke up. She grabbed her things and hurried toward the door. Then she stopped. She didn't notice the small student ID lying beneath the pillow. It carried her full name, her university, and just enough information to lead Adrian straight back to her. The man she thought was just a broken stranger was anything but ordinary. The only question was, who exactly was Adrian Cole? Adrian woke to sunlight spilling across the room. For a few seconds, he stared at the empty space beside him. Then he remembered Maya. He sat up quickly. "Maya." No answer. He looked around the room. She was gone. Adrian rubbed his face and noticed something on the table. A small student ID. He picked it up. Maya Bennett. His eyes moved to the university name. He knew it immediately. His expression changed. Before he could think about it, the bedroom door opened. His assistant Daniel stepped inside. "Sir, the board meeting starts in 40 minutes. Adrian held up the ID. "Where did she go?" Daniel looked at the card. "I don't know, sir." Adrian stared at the name again. "Find out." Daniel hesitated. "Is there a problem?" "I don't know yet." He looked toward the door. "Just find her." Later that morning, Adrian sat in the back of his car while Daniel went through the day's schedule. "The university on her ID," Daniel said, "is the same university connected to the Westbridge acquisition." Adrian looked up. "What acquisition?" "The education technology deal we've been working on. Her university is one of the schools involved." Adrian's face became serious. "Are you sure?" "Yes." He looked down at Maya's ID. The memory of the previous night returned. Her questions, her honesty, the way she had refused his money, the way she had told him She only wanted enough peace to finish what she started. Adrian leaned back. Was that meeting really accidental? Daniel looked at him. You think she knew who you were? I don't know. But you think she might have. Adrian was silent. Then he handed him the ID. Find out everything about her. Daniel nodded. Everything. Her background, her school records, where she works, who she knows. Daniel studied him. Why? Adrian looked out the window. Because I need to know whether last night was a coincidence. Across the city, Maya had no idea any of this was happening. She was back on campus, trying to focus on class. She told herself the strange night was over. She would never see Adrian again. Then her phone buzzed. She opened the email. Her eyes widened. Congratulations. You have been selected for a special corporate scholarship interview. Maya read it twice. Then a third time. This has to be a mistake. Tasha looked over. What happened? Maya handed her the phone. Tasha's mouth fell open. You've been selected for a corporate scholarship. I never applied. Then who nominated you? Maya stared at the screen. She didn't know. But somewhere across the city, Adrian Cole was already asking the same question. And neither of them realized that the scholarship was about to bring them together again. The next Monday morning, Maya stood outside the glass doors of Cole Enterprises, holding her scholarship letter with both hands. She took a deep breath. This is just an interview, she whispered. Tasha looked at her. Then why do you look like you're going to court? Because rich people scare me. Tasha laughed. You don't even know rich people. I know enough. Maya walked inside. A receptionist checked her name and smiled. Ms. Bennett, you're expected upstairs. Thank you. The elevator opened on the executive floor. Maya stepped out. Then she saw him. Adrian. He was standing at the end of the hallway in a dark suit, speaking to two executives. Their eyes met. Both of them froze. Adrian slowly turned toward her. You work here. Maya looked at the company logo behind him. Apparently. One of the executives looked between them. Do you two know each other? Maya answered quickly. No. Adrian said at the same time. Not really. The executive smiled awkwardly and walked away. Maya lowered her voice. You're the CEO. Adrian looked at her. You didn't know. You didn't exactly introduce yourself. A small smile appeared on his face. Neither did you. Maya crossed her arms. I thought you were just a drunk man who couldn't walk straight. And I thought you were just a student who liked giving orders. She almost smiled. Then Adrian's expression became serious. Your scholarship includes an internship. Maya nodded. I know. At my company. I know that too. Are you comfortable with that? Maya looked him directly in the eyes. I need the scholarship. I can handle the work. Adrian nodded. Then prove it. By noon, Maya was assigned to a failing project. A senior executive named Victor handed her a thick folder. You're helping with the Westbridge report. Maya opened it. Where is the full financial data? Victor smiled. You're an intern, you get what you need. But I can't review the report without the missing records. Then do your best. He walked away. Maya frowned. Something felt wrong. She stayed late, comparing the records she had been given. Then she noticed several payments that did not match the totals. She checked them again. And again. Someone had moved large amounts of money through different accounts. Maya's hands went cold. The next morning, Victor found her reviewing the numbers. "You're still working on that." "I found something." He took the papers from her. "You didn't find anything. These numbers don't match." Victor lowered his voice. "Listen carefully. You have a scholarship because this company chose to give you a chance. Don't throw it away trying to impress people." Maya stared at him. Her scholarship was the only thing keeping her in school. She could stay quiet. She could protect her future. Or she could tell the truth. Maya slowly picked up the papers. "I think someone is stealing from this company." Victor's face changed. "Be very careful, Maya." She looked at him. "I am." And for the first time, Maya understood that the scholarship was not the opportunity she thought it was. It was a test. And someone was waiting for her to fail. By the end of the week, Maya had enough proof to know something was very wrong. But she also knew she was in danger of losing everything. She walked into Victor's office with the documents in her hand. "I checked the records again." Victor didn't look up. "And the payments were hidden." His eyes narrowed. "You're accusing someone." "I'm reporting what I found." Victor stood. "You have no idea how this company works. I know numbers don't lie." He stepped closer. "Think carefully, Maya. One complaint from me and your scholarship can disappear." Maya swallowed. "That may be true." She placed the documents on his desk. "But I won't sign my name to a lie." Victor's face hardened. "You'll regret this." By Monday morning, Maya was called into the main boardroom. Almost every senior executive was there. Adrian sat at the center of the table. Maya walked in slowly. Victor stood immediately. "Sir, she accessed private company records without permission." Maya looked at him. "That isn't true." Victor continued. "She created false reports and tried to blame our finance team." A few executives began whispering. Maya's heart pounded. Adrian looked at her. "Did you access the records?" "Yes." "Without permission?" "Yes." The room became quiet. Victor smiled. "There you have it." Maya turned toward Adrian. "But I didn't change anything." Victor interrupted. "She is an intern. She doesn't understand what she's looking at." Adrian's eyes moved to the documents. "Then why do these numbers match the original records?" Victor froze. The room went silent. Adrian's assistant, Daniel, entered carrying another file. "Sir, we found the missing account records." He placed them on the table. The payments Maya reported were real. Victor stepped back. Adrian looked at him. "Where did the money go?" Victor said nothing. Daniel opened another document. Several payments were sent to an account connected to Victor's private company. A shocked voice came from the other side of the room. "You've got to be kidding." Victor looked at Adrian. "Sir, I can explain." "You'll explain it to the police." Victor's face went pale. Maya stood quietly. Then one executive looked at her. "You risked your scholarship over this." Maya nodded. "I couldn't pretend I didn't see it." Adrian looked at her for a long moment. Then he turned to the room. She was warned to stay quiet. His eyes moved toward Victor. "She didn't." Victor lowered his head. Maya finally spoke. "You thought I was just a broke student." She looked around the room. "You thought I had nothing to lose." Her voice remained calm. "You were wrong." Adrian stood. "And for the record, Maya's scholarship has nothing to do with this decision." He looked directly at her. "She earned her place here." Maya looked at him surprised. For the first time, she understood something. Adrian had not brought her there to control her. He had given her a chance, and she had just shown him exactly what she was made of. The days that followed were quieter. Victor was removed from the company and later faced legal charges for the money he had taken. Maya's scholarship was reviewed by the board and made fully independent of Adrian. She could keep it whether she worked at Cole Enterprises or not. When Maya heard the news, she felt relieved. "I can finish school," she whispered. Tasha smiled. "You did it." Maya shook her head. "Not yet, I still have to graduate." A few days later, Adrian asked Maya to meet him in his office. She walked in carefully. "You wanted to see me." He stood from his desk. Yes. There was something different about him that day. Less like the powerful CEO. More like the man she had met that night. "I owe you an apology," he said. Maya looked surprised. "For what?" "I doubted you." "You had reasons." "I did." He paused. "But I was wrong." Maya smiled slightly. "Thank you." Adrian looked at her. "The first time we met, you didn't know my name." Maya laughed softly. "I thought you were just a drunk man who needed help." "I know." He smiled. "I liked that." "Why?" "Because you had no reason to impress me." Maya looked down. "That was because I didn't know who you were." "Exactly." He took a slow breath. "And that's why I can't stop thinking about you." Maya's smile faded. "Adrian." "I know." He raised his hand. "You're my employee. I don't want you to feel pressured." Maya nodded. "Then let's keep it that way." He looked at her. "I understand. I need to finish school first." "You should. And I don't want anyone thinking I got ahead because of you." "You won't." Maya smiled. "Good." Months passed. Maya worked hard, finished her classes, and finally walked across the stage to receive her degree. When she looked into the crowd, she saw Tasha crying. Then she saw Adrian. He wasn't sitting with the executives. He wasn't there as her boss. He was simply there, proud of her. After the ceremony, he waited outside. Maya walked toward him. "You came." "I promised I would." She smiled. He took a breath. "Now that you don't work for me." Maya raised an eyebrow. "Can I finally ask you out?" She smiled. "You can ask." "Dinner." She pretended to think. "That's a start." They both laughed. Maya had once believed she needed money just to survive. But she learned something more important. The girl who couldn't afford tuition didn't need a billionaire to save her. She needed the chance to prove the value she had been carrying all along. And sometimes, the person who enters your life by accident becomes the person who reminds you how much you are worth. So what would you have done? Would you have walked away from that drunk stranger that night, or helped him too? Tell me in the comments. And if you enjoy emotional stories about love, betrayal, unexpected choices, and second chances, subscribe for more.